Flyweight bout between Joanne Wood and Luana Carolina. Plus 175 for Carolina, minus 175 for Wood. Over under 2.5 rounds, minus 307 for the over, plus 307 for the under. I think this one ends within the distance. I mean, we've looked at Joanne Wood. Her last two fights, she's been finished in the first round. So interesting spot there. She's 7-8 in the UFC, which is pretty nuts. A losing record in the UFC, but look at her losses in the past. She really only loses to like the best of the best as well. I mean,
right. Yep.
Title challenger, Tyler Santos, the current champion, Alexa Grasso, her last one out a year ago. Lauren Murphy, split decision loss. Jennifer Maya, who we talked about earlier, Kaylin Chikagian, and then a couple years ago, we won't need to keep going with that. But and then you look at Luana Carolina, who got knocked out in London last year around this same time against Molly McCann with that spinning back elbow, which was pretty nasty. So interested to see how she bounces back from that. But taking a year off, I think, was the right idea because it was pretty nasty. And she needed to take a good amount of time off. I think she'll come back in this one. In the same arena, probably looking for a little bit of a revenge. And coming in as a dog, I got to say, I think maybe it's just recency bias on Joanne Wood, but I think Luana Carolina kind of a live dog here. She's not terrible on the feet. Like she's pretty solid. 4.64 strikes landed per minute and a positive strike differential there. Pretty good takedown defense as well. And I know she kind of got blitzed by Molly McCann, but then after that, she kind of started to fight her way back into that fight until she got spinning back elbowed. But before that, she got a win against Lupita Godinez, who is now a 115er, but she got a win against her, who I think Godinez is pretty solid. Poliana Botelho, split decision. That knee bar loss to Lipsky was pretty nasty. I hate watching those, but this fight is probably going to stay on the feet. Both women like to keep it on the feet. Joanne Wood has been subbed her past 2 times out. She got rocked by Tyler Santos, which ultimately led to her getting submitted. But it's probably going to be a stand-up affair unless Joanne Wood takes it to the ground. She averages 1.5 takedowns per 15 minutes. But I just don't see her really wanting to do that in this one. I think Carolina, she's not like a great takedown specialist. You know, she's about 50%. So it's not great there. The big problem with me when I look at this fight is I'm like, what is Joanne Wood fighting for at this point? Like, what does she really have to gain?
Yeah.
Formerly Joanne Calderwood and now Joanne Wood because she got married to the head coach at Syndicate MMA, John Wood. So is she just doing this because, her husband is the coach there and she's just kind of being around it and continuing to compete because she's 37 and she's on a 3-fight losing streak. Like there's really no shot to like be at a title anytime soon. So it's like, why are you still doing it? I just kind of struggled to get there. For Luana Carolina, I think there's more of an incentive there. She kind of wants to get that one back in London. And as the dog price, I think that's a pretty decent price. So I'm going to take Luana Carolina as the younger fighter, a lot more to prove. I think the better striker at this point in their career, and I think she gets it done. What about you?
Yeah, I think she will be maybe a little bit more powerful of a striker, like a little bit more sharp. And you do look at Joanne or JoJo Wood's last, let's just say 5 fights. She's 1-4, but the losses. I mean, the champ, Tyler Santos, who almost beat the former champ in Valentina, Lauren Murphy, who's fought for a belt, I believe, and Jennifer Maya, who's a decent fighter. She also lost to Kaylin Chikagian. So I mean, her losses aren't to girls who suck by any means. But at this stage in their careers, you kind of touched on it, man. I think Luana, probably the younger, hungrier fighter in this situation. She does have, I believe, she's got a handful of knockouts out of her 8 wins, didn't she? Let me see. No, just 2. Never mind. I was looking at the wrong side. So yeah, I think I don't think anybody's going to get finished here. I do think Luana is probably going to be sharper on the feet, maybe have that speed advantage as well. And on the ground, she does have a submission win. And JoJo Wood, I believe, has been submitted 5 times in her career. Obviously, Luana is not going to be to the level of some of these girls that JoJo's been beat by.
Yeah,
But there are some unknowns too in this fight too. I mean, Luana probably going to be maybe one of her toughest fights, and JoJo Wood
definitely.
um, definitely fighting down here too. So it's one of those things. You look at the record on JoJo Wood, and you see all these losses, but then again, look who she's losing to, and she gets to fight down now instead of keep fighting these tougher and tougher girls. So honestly, I think it could be a good fight, a pretty even fight for the pick. I'm going to go with the younger, hungrier fighter in Luana here, but probably not going to bet on this one.
Yeah, a greasy one. We'll leave it at.
Definitely.